World War I inflation. In 1914, the world entered a conflict unlike anything humanity had experienced before. World War I involved massive armies, industrialized warfare, and enormous economic demands. Governments across Europe suddenly faced the challenge of financing a war that required unprecedented resources. Before the war, many countries operated under the gold standard. This system linked national currencies to fixed amounts of gold, which helped maintain stability in international trade and finance. However, once the war began, governments quickly realized that maintaining the gold standard would severely limit their ability to spend. War was extremely expensive. Weapons, ammunition, transportation, food, and military logistics required vast amounts of money. Instead of restricting spending, most governments chose to suspend the gold standard and begin printing paper currency to fund the war effort. Germany, Britain, France, and many other countries followed this path. At first, the consequences were not immediately obvious, but as the war continued and governments kept printing money, inflation began to spread. Prices increased, savings lost value, and the purchasing power of paper money weakened across Europe. People who had trusted paper currency suddenly discovered that their money was buying less and less each year. This situation created uncertainty and fear, especially for soldiers and civilians who depended on stable income. Gold in soldiers' backpacks. Military leaders understood that paper currency could lose value quickly during wartime. Because of this, some armies adopted a practical solution. They provided soldiers with gold coins that could serve as emergency funds. British soldiers often carried small gold coins known as sovereigns in their backpacks. These coins were made of gold and recognized across many parts of the world. Unlike paper money, their value did not depend on a government promise. A sovereign coin represented real, tangible wealth. For soldiers fighting far from home, this small piece of gold could become incredibly important. War zones were chaotic environments. Supply lines could be disrupted, and soldiers could find themselves isolated or captured. In those uncertain conditions, having a reliable form of value could make a significant difference. Gold coins were compact, durable, and widely accepted. A soldier could carry them discreetly without adding significant weight to his equipment. Yet those coins could potentially buy food, assistance, or protection if needed. This simple strategy showed how gold continued to play a role even in the modern industrial age of warfare. Gold as escape tool. The true importance of these gold coins often appeared in the most dangerous situations. If a soldier was captured behind enemy lines, ordinary paper money might be useless. Enemy forces might reject unfamiliar banknotes or confiscate them entirely. Gold, however, could still function as a universal currency. Captured soldiers sometimes used gold coins to purchase food or small favors from guards. In desperate situations, gold could even be used as a bribe to improve living conditions or attempt escape. History contains many accounts of prisoners of war relying on small amounts of gold to increase their chances of survival. The metal's universal recognition made it uniquely valuable. Even enemies understood the worth of gold. This illustrates a powerful historical reality. In extreme circumstances where institutions break down and formal systems collapse, people often return to simple and trusted forms of value. Gold has served this role for thousands of years. Even in the trenches of World War I, surrounded by modern weapons and industrial warfare, a small gold coin still represented something timeless: security, opportunity, and the possibility of survival.